Hey, Felicia, Franco. Woo. So the Bay Area Agent Mastermind. Where's this fuck? So the Bay Area Mastermind coordinated is about to start at 1, and we have 175 registrants. Hello, Marianne.
Hi.
How are you? Where are you from?
Coldwell Banker, San Francisco.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
Well, I see a lot of my friends on here. So we have 175 people today. I don't know what 175 Zoom call is. Hello, Ruby.
Hi,
Hello, where are you from?
I'm an agent with Coldwell Banker.
Oh, which region?
San Francisco Sunset office.
I think it'd be cool if you guys change your names to your location too. That'll help people kind of identify you. So I just put like Kenny Trung, Oakland.
Okay.
I think it's a good way to connect with a lot of your peers. I know everyone's some people are busy, a lot of people aren't. So meeting functions. So what are you guys seeing in the market right now?
I see, at least from a buyer perspective, my buyers that, I shouldn't say my buyers, the clients that were really active before Corona happened seem to be a little more aggressive now, and they're frustrated because, how can I see a place, and can you make this happen, and, we're trying to be safe, yet show them places. And then I had 3 net new clients that came in right around the time before Corona was formally, before we formally had shelter in place. And of those 3, one of them decided to take a pause altogether, and kind of wait things out. Another one is using their time to do due diligence and get their loan tightened up and complete and conditionally approved. And then the other one started to do the same, and they decided to pause as well. So, just in my little sampling, that's 2/3 of the net new buyers basically said, you know what, I'm going to hold tight and see what happens. But 100% of my active buyers are even more aggressive right now.
Are they out writing offers?
We're doing virtual tours. We probably had 4 of them this last week over in Oakland. Nobody's written an offer yet because it just hasn't been the right place. But they are, like I said, they're doing the tours. We're going through the disclosure, so they're taking all the steps, but just no offers yet.
Yeah, it's a like interesting conversation to have with my sellers because I'm mostly talking about like what other agents are telling me. Like this is why I want to set something up.
Yeah.
I have a listing that was in Jack London that was 10 occupied 2 weeks ago. Like we've only had 2 showings, and now it's. And then I listed another home in Oakland Hills in the condo for like $500,000. No showings yet. Actually, sorry, 1 showing. But then in Newark, when I listed this house, I had 4 virtual showings. The seller walked them through. So we had people on Zoom call. And next day we had like 15 people on Zoom call. Next day we had like a dozen. So that house alone, we've already had like I think 15 showings, 3 or 4.
Has anything converted into offers, or is? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
We moved up the offer date to be this Wednesday because of all the we're expecting probably like at least 4 or 5 offers. I don't know how much it has to do with that. The property is in Newark, just like 2 or 3 miles away from Facebook, and
Yeah.
Tesla was supposed to be there. I don't know the details, but Tesla's pulling out or something. But that's a really, really hot listing. So every listing is a lot different.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And I haven't been able to see a pattern yet. So that's why I'm really grateful that you're having this call, because the more we share, the more we can inform our clients on both sides, the buyer and the seller side.
So the 4 virtual tours you went on, was that, because the virtual tour is a little loose, like, is it the seller?
It was so basically the agent was at the property, and my client and I FaceTimed with the agent. So she and he walked us through the property. So that's what I mean by virtual tour. Live appointment, FaceTime.
Maybe I think we should call it like guided virtual tours or something. Like I don't know how to differentiate between like the seller walking through or the agent walking through.
Yeah.
But it's just a different experience. It'd be kind of like I think the seller's getting a kick out of it because like, hey, show me around. Like, oh, I love. And then they think to talk more about a certain room. It adds a lot of like emotion, and they're very enthusiastic that people want to ask questions.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've set up sanitation stations at all my listings. So booties, gloves, wipes. I mean, I have a whole with instructions at the front door. Really, really thorough instructions, which made my owner-occupied listings feel a lot better.
Yeah, that like sheet, because I posted it on Instagram. There, like someone in their different state had that really cool sheet. Like,
yeah, I got a sheet.
Yeah, like if you have a sample, I'd love to do a share with people. But yeah, I think it makes people feel safe about what they're doing, and and you going extra way during these times, your clients and the buyer's agent would remember the extra precautions you took.
Is anybody having any challenges with clients signing, some of the new Corona disclosures, like the one, if you're going to see a property, sign it. The other, if something happens while you're in contract, you can do X, Y, and Z.
Having that, so I've gotten 4 purchase contracts and contracts during this. So no big issues there, but we want to just make it very clear, because I'm just learning as I go, very clear that, this isn't just a way out. It has to be related.
Yeah.
Because at first when it came out, like, oh, great, people like this contract. Hi guys, everyone. Hey, if you aren't speaking at the very moment.
How do I mute him?
Hey, Justin. Damn, a lot of people are copying on. We have 175 people for this. Wait, didn't mute everyone? I didn't mute anyone. Hi, Daryl, Michael. Ginny, how are you doing? Hey, Ginny, are you at CB right now, Ginny?
Yep.
Oh, cool. So are you at the same office as Mary Ann?
Is she in San Francisco? Pacific Heights?
So.
I am.
If you guys
Hi.
Your city, it would help a lot. Just for us to have a conversation about your marketplace.
Oh. Okay, I think I'm gonna listen to it with my own.
How's it going down there, Danny? With like still happening a lot?
Homes in good school districts that are priced well are still selling pretty good. We got last week.
I will get to you later because I gotta be.
The two that hit the market this week in San Jose have been active in terms of requests. We had 3 showings. But I sent you that COVID showing instruction doc. So we have that doc at the front door for everybody. And then I'm vetting every single buyer and buyer agent, making sure that we've talked about the house, the 3D tour, virtual tour, and just making sure that they're completely vetted at the owner occupied listings we have. So I think we put 3 on the market last week and 2 of them have shown traction. But it's tough. No doubt about it. And you really got to stay on top of the people who showed the house.
I'll do a screen share. So this is what Danny just shared to me. So yeah, I mean, you guys could just screenshot and then make your own version, you know, whether it's Canva or Word. But this is nice to put in front of the house so people, you know, just have, you know, would just know, because a lot of buyers are probably looking at homes for the very, very first time, like this week. It's not, people aren't out much.
I'm a little uptight, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I just wanted to make it, you know, easier and safer, and everybody, you know, the smoother it is and the more instructions, I think the better everyone's gonna feel.
Well, this is a Mastermind. Anyone else have comments about the market?
Kenny, can you share your screen again? Because I missed, we're back on all our faces, but I missed your screen. Thank you.
You guys can see it?
Yeah. Thank you.
So what's Jeffrey? What's your take on the market? I know you're pretty in tune with what's going on.
Well, there's a lot of meetings. I've never done more meetings in my entire 20-year real estate career. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know you kind of led the 10 talk. Everyone else.
So what's going on is there have been 2 broker group meetings. Our area, the brokers are trying to all be on the same page about clarifying the messaging to the agents, what we can and can't do, or should and shouldn't do. Of course, they can't, because we're independent contractors, they can't command us to do things a certain way, but they can certainly reinforce all the guidances that are put out there by the federal, state, and local guidelines. It seems as though everybody's still in the opinion and the local guidelines supersede anything that the state is putting out, but there's still variations of interpretation of the health orders. For example, Contra Costa County is allowing photographers to go in to properties, but here in our area, they're not allowed. So there's just, it's a shifting target every day. And all we can do as agents is inform and educate and be safe and keep everybody safe, and just keep asking our brokers about what is the latest that they've heard and what should we be doing. I know there's a broker meeting today at 4 o'clock. So maybe more will come out of that. The association itself is consistently putting out messaging on the Bridge MLS website. So I would really encourage you to keep an eye on that every day, including all the updates from CAR. And that's basically where it is. I've been noticing in the last couple of days more properties coming on the MLS, but there's inconsistency with regards to the instructions in the confidential remarks. And that's really tough because we don't want to be dangling a carrot implying that it's safe to show property when in fact it isn't. And everybody needs to just follow the same rules as best as possible. So this uptick in properties becoming active on the MLS is a little concerning, especially if they're being listed by agents who aren't keeping up to date with regards to what's going on in the community. So I just think keep checking the Bridge MLS website, the Bridge Association website, and the CAR website, and really stay in touch with your broker.
Yeah, there's, and then like all our owner occupied listings, we have not scheduled any occupied showings the 3 listings we did have, either the owner or the tenant walked them through it. But we do have some listings coming up where they're fully vacant, no furniture, nothing's in it. We're doing virtual staging and everything right now, along with floor plans. So I don't think many people are going to come out to look at stuff. You know, we want, if it's they're going to be very, very selective of what they're looking at.
Yeah, if you have an opportunity to safely do your own virtual tour of a property that's coming soon or on TAN or active on the MLS, that is a good thing to do as long as you follow your own safety protocols. I'm not endorsing that you should do it, but that is an option. I've seen that occur. I did it today for our own listing on Armour, and I put it on our website, the property website, and Open Homes website, just so that people can see in advance, you know, what the house looks like.
Is it Matterport?
I did it on my iPhone and then uploaded it to my website. It's a .mov, and those are all importable. Fortunately, otherwise I would have had to be using my very rough editing skills to save it as something else. So, you know, you can use your phone to do it. That's what I did. I did a little 5-minute walkthrough, and it looks absolutely horrible, but it's something.
Cool. Anyone else? What are you guys up to? Well, I see a lot of people here. Hey, Michelle, Ben, Felicia, Kevin, Ann. How you guys doing?
I'd say now is a more important time than ever to use
Just for your bills, nigga. Let's cut down to something.
to use virtual tours and 3D tours. Like, spend the extra money if your property's owner occupied, for sure. And then vet the people who are showing it. Like, just say, hey, did you walk the 3D tour? Did you walk the virtual tour? Did you look at disclosures? Really, really vet the people before they do those showings. That I think that'll go a long way.
Yeah, I agree, and we're even asking up front, who are the buyers pre-approved with, because as you know, it's more challenging to get jumbo loans now. Not all the banks or mortgage lenders are writing those, so you want to make sure that if you're going to get entangled with somebody who's going to potentially write an offer, that their lender is going to be able to actually get a loan. And I see Brenda Wyatt is on here, and Kevin Kennedy. I'd love to hear your take on that part of it, because, you know, we're letting people into our houses, and we don't want people in there who aren't really ready to buy and ready to go.
Kevin, Brenda?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
I'm kicking that person out. That's twice. One more time, Solomon. I don't even know who you are, but one more time, you're out. Always.
Hi. Yeah, hi. This is Brenda Wyatt. To your point, jumbo guidelines are changing daily, as some of you may have heard last week. Wells Fargo, I think as of Friday, they stopped allowing jumbo loans for correspondent lenders. So your mortgage broker is a correspondent lender, and so they're no longer allowing that. You have to go through the retail channel. We do have lots of other jumbo options, but I do agree now is a very important time to be in close contact with your lender, because guidelines are changing so rapidly, not only on the jumbo side, but also on the FHA loans and some conventional guidelines as well.
And what's the story about, like, is non-QM still in, or is on hold right now for a lot of banks?
Yes, non-QM loans have been suspended.
Or some of the agents here, a lot of agents here might not understand what that is. Do you want to dig a little deeper on what non-QM means? Because we're affected. Most of us are non-QM.
Sure. So basically, for your A-paper clients, meaning they have reserves, they have 20% down, strong credit, not self-employed or any intricacies with their financial, they should not have any problem obtaining financing. But for your borrowers who may not have, may have an expired visa, they may not have reserves, high DTI, if they just don't meet the basic guidelines, that would be considered non-QM. And for those loans, we saw most of them be suspended like 3 weeks ago.
Do you have any like ideas of when that could potentially come back?
So, and I'll just share a little bit, and Kevin, feel free to jump in and correct me if you're seeing anything differently. But what's happening now is there's a liquidity issue. So, of course, the government is, attempting to support homeowners by suggesting that they request forbearance or grace period for their payment. Well, that's going to have a huge impact on the mortgage industry because lenders have to hold those loans, and we don't know when we'll come out of this. So lenders are currently holding them. Most are offering between 3 to 6 months forbearance. So that means they're not going to be collecting any payment. They're not going to receive an interest payment through that time period. So the lender is left holding the bag. We do expect that there will be some updates to the stimulus funds or a second package that may provide some relief to lenders. But until then, we think that it may be another month or two before we get non-QM back. And Kevin, your thoughts?
I think you're right on, Brenda. That was really concise and beautifully communicated. I think the only other thing that I would recommend to everyone that's in our industry is the underwriters are going to be looking for the borrower's ability to repay. And so, out of the couple hundred people that I've got pre-approved on my pipeline, I've had clients call in our pre-approved folks, and one of the guys, he's currently he's in construction and he's waiting for his construction site to be deemed essential so he can go back to work, but he's collecting unemployment. He wants to write an offer on a house. That's not going to fly. So I would say anytime you have a listing that somebody's going to write an offer, I think Jeffrey had mentioned this, really smart, check in with the lender, make sure that the buyer is almost getting pre-approved. I had a couple of clients that wanted to potentially write over the weekend, and interest rates have changed on a lot of these programs. They thought, I was quoting 3.625 a couple of weeks ago, and on one of the programs it was up in the mid 4s, and that affected their debt ratio. And they thought they were pre-approved at 800,000, and maybe they're only pre-approved for 750 now. So I would say that the devil's in the details, and I would just ask a lot of questions, and I would hope that we would have radical transparency and really show up for people during this challenging time, and help families move that need to move, but at the same time make sure that we're not putting people in moral hazard and taking houses off the market if the buyer can't get a loan. So that's the only thing I would add.
Any other comments, anyone? We have 100 people in there. I'm sure, yes, someone has something to say.
If I can add something to it, so looking back 2008 when we were having like foreclosures and sale dates, I was working with a lot of people in distress. So we wanted to make sure that whoever was going to get in contract was 100% solid. So what I was doing and what I started doing right now for new listing is I'm having one of my preferred lenders give a second opinion on their financing. So you just connect their lender to my lender and just make sure everything checks out. So whoever's gonna go in the house, I at least hear from my lender, my preferred lender, that they're solid, and it's worth their time to like get the people out, sanitize, and just go through all that hustle.
Hey, Kenny,
I got a question for.
Monica?
Hey, Kenny, it's May. Can I add to that?
Yeah. Wait, May who? Sorry, we just who's this?
What's that?
We just see a phone number.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was driving. I pulled over.
Oh, Montana?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, cool. I'll put your name in the chat so people know who you're talking to.
Yeah, just a quick note to piggyback on what Brenda and Kevin had to say. I totally agree with what they're saying. And as a realtor, the thing that you're going to want, like, are going to be the hot buttons, are anybody with less than 20% down. So if somebody says they have 10 and they're not going FHA, or at guaranteed rate, we still have those programs, and we do have some alternative jumbo. But I think our 30 fixed right now is a bit, it's frozen. So, but we do have ARM products. But the other thing is second loans. So if you're having somebody who's going to sell their property and buy, anybody's trying to get cash out on their property, all the cash out is pretty much gone. And I've seen some seconds go out. So, you know, it is a lot like 2008. So the seconds, you know, were frozen, and then they were gone for a couple of years. At the beginning of this year, San Francisco Fire Credit Union lowered their CLTV to 85%. I'm seeing limited CLTV on anything over $1 million. So if you're working with any buyers, ask the lender for not just the pre-approval, but maybe the DU approval and the actual approval, the underwriter's approval, and make sure it's current.
So I'm okay, from the real estate agents, I'm curious about like market conditions. So like I said, my team was able to get 4 buyers in contract in since the shelter in place last 3 weeks. Everything we wrote on had multiple offers. Are you guys still seeing that like in the last 1 week or 2 weeks? Has anything been affected much? Has anyone offered this week on anything?
Hello? Hey.
All right.
Kenny, this is Donna. I just wanted to elaborate on that. We had a client that actually was in the process of doing a cash out refi to do a purchase, and Wells Fargo had kind of halted that, but at the time, because we were in contract already, they were able to make accommodations to make that happen. Like going back, as you know, make sure you guys check with your lenders, because all the guidelines have completely changed. And so, you know, and there's a lot of buyers that are online right now that are just completely, all they have is time to look at houses. And when the, you know, shelter in place is lifted, we're going to have abundance of buyers. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you've got these people into the loans that some of them presume that the loans that they got qualified for, they're still qualified for. So like everyone else said, you know, have them talk to the lender, get them all pre-approved again because of these conditions.
Hey, Kenny, I actually have a question for agents out there who are putting listings out on the market, you know, right now with the current SIP in place. Are you guys, how are you changing your conversations regarding listing price? Are you pretty much keeping it the same? Are you guys continuing, are you advising a more transparent listing price, or are you still looking for slightly underpricing? I'm just kind of curious, you know, how you guys are having those conversations.
So I can go. I put on 2 last week. We're putting on about 4 this week. We have, the conversation hasn't changed too much. After deciding all factors, looking at what's happening in the market, talking to people like you guys, all the listings we have coming on this month is we stuck at the same price that we were planning to last month. So not much new conversations happened, but there was a gap. I think everyone felt that gap in the shelter in place. Where I told my clients, hey, I don't know what's going on. We really should hold off. Give me another week. Let me get more information to decide what we want to do. And I have current listings right now, like there's no activity. So I told my clients, I really don't know what's going on. I need to talk to more people, because, you know, we're all in our own little bubble in our living room. And then, you know, if you guys are participating on here, you know that we have a Wednesday. This is specific to the Oakland Berkeley market, but Wednesday we have like maybe 15 really broker owners. And I want to get their insight on what's going on with that market. Right now, like I'm only able to see what's going on with my listings, and I know we have one-on-one chats, but it's very light. That's why I was hoping today we can have more people like this talk about like the question you asked. So maybe someone in San Francisco or Contra Costa can comment on this that has listings going on right now.
I can tell you, we put 6872 Armor Drive in Oakland in the Montclair Hills on the MLS on Friday. It was previously withdrawn, temporarily withdrawn off the MLS. And we've had a handful of showings and shared a couple of disclosure packages. You know, we're certainly getting some interest. I don't know what it's going to turn into, trying to hope that we can get a good offer by Friday. But we have a whole other group of listings that are all holding off because one of them needs to sell before they buy. And so they're nervous that their sell price on their own house might have not be as optimistic as they were hoping. Another one's moving out of the area and they're just not ready to do that. So they're kind of all over the place. Out of the 5 that we're working on, only one felt comfortable coming on, and it's a transparent price for sure. She's motivated to sell that home.
So Anne, I think maybe she actually had on private setting for me. How are people writing? Are they writing on inspections? Real quick for me, we're keeping loan conditions in place now for most of our deals, because yes, we have the corona, but we want to be extra sure. Anyone else has experience with how you're changing the way you're writing offers?
So definitely with my offers that I'm submitting on the purchase is I'm definitely asking for credit back where I wasn't for closing costs. I wasn't before, and now I am, most definitely, just because I don't know what's going to happen with the lending. It seems like it's changing every week.
Where are you, Leah?
Yes, I'm in Sacramento. And I like to follow what's going on in the Bay Area because it seems like we're about, like a month behind whatever your guys' markets are looking like. We start filling it here, so.
What, Leah, to elaborate on that, what we actually did was we had a duplex that was we're actually closing escrow by Wednesday, and what we did was the buyer was a little bit afraid in regards to the income coming in on the property, but they really loved the property because they knew the potential of it. But we did was I did actually go in there and ask for a guarantee rent guarantee to rent. And we do, and like you said, the seller was able to say, let's do this. If you're in negotiations and that's what you're worried about and whatnot, let's do a 10-month guarantee of rent back on there. So that's a holdback for them from the seller. So if there's no guaranteed of rents coming in, we're able to use that. So that was something that we were able to make the deal happen with that.
I went in a contract on a property the second week of on coronavirus, during the coronavirus, and I wrote it in as a 14-day appraisal and loan contingency. We're actually able to get the appraisal done as 4 days, right? We went in contract, and we removed all contingencies today on it, and everything has been on time and scheduled for the property. It's a 25-day close, which is I was very hesitant at first, but everything's going smoothly and we're expected to close very soon. So, but everything has been smooth. I haven't had any delays with anything and getting inspectors in there, things like that. And for the most part of some Bay Area houses listings, they do all their inspections up front, which my house had that. So it was just pretty streamlined forward.
And I got one in contract the day that we got the shelter in place. It was a 21-day close, and we're going to be about 2 days late, but everything's gone really smoothly.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that made it late was the underwriter had some questions about the appraisal.
I just had a few loan officers tell us that they want 35-day closes now, at least, on our offers we're writing. That was from B of A and someone else. Sorry, I forgot. So a little backup there. And in terms of transparent pricing over in Silicon Valley, I think we used to all price low. I think we're all pricing where we want to sell now. It's been weird. Like good school districts seem to still be selling pretty good, but 7s and belows have really taken a hold. but that's just kind of from my perspective. So.
I mean, I hope this pricing strategy sticks because, you know, we've been in this whole era of playing games and going crazy low, and, you know, when the market, you know, crazy low, and then like I think 2-3 years ago things were slowing down, so we would list it high, then drop it low, then drop it $1,000, change it $1, like just doing all types of whatever will attract attention. And it's just, you know, and then whatever you recommend to your seller, they heard from someone else that works. So we'll just end up like playing around with the prices, which frustrates everyone. Hopefully this will push us into like slightly more transparent pricing more often, so we can just get more, you know, transparency in the market.
Just to piggyback on what you're saying, Kenny, this is Mariama. I'm mainly in Hercules and West Contra Costa County, and I am seeing properties come on the market, and it seems like it's transparent pricing because the properties seem priced with the comps, and they're going pending really quickly. And so I have a couple of listings in this area that are coming up and they're vacant. So it seems like we're going to be able to still go on the market, you know, as they want to. But I am going to advise the same thing, transparent pricing, because the buyers that are out there right now are pretty serious. They know there's less competition. And if we can price it, you know, according to the market and then get a good offer, then, and, you know, as the lenders that are on this call advised earlier, you know, we talk to the lenders, make sure that they're good to go, make sure their employment isn't going to be affected. And if we get an offer right away, I'm going to advise my clients to accept it, just so that we can keep it moving and not play games.
I agree. This is Monica Segulio with Hatch Realty, and I totally agree that we should start getting into the transparent pricing. But what I've been noticing, like in areas of Hayward, where the listing agents are pricing it pretty transparently, saying that they want like 10 to 15,000 over, or like around close to what it was, they're still getting multiple offers well above the asking price. Like, for example, one in Hayward went 90,000 over, and the agent was like, if you give me asking, we'd be okay with it. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, we got like 90 grand over. And once the shelter in place got lifted, every single house that I've shown, really interesting, I've seen like a line of agents, well, not a line, but like always somebody there trying to show it too. So it's busy right now.
Is that in Hayward?
In Hayward and Castro Valley too.
Like 500 to 800,000 price point. Is that about right?
$1 million and below. Well, Hayward is about like 900 and below, and then Castro Valley is $1 million and below.
Just to clarify, there's no shelter in place where you are?
No, there is, but there's shelter in place, but it's like showing like in cases where there's no virtual tours and only vacant properties. So for vacant properties, I've seen like other agents showing everyone's got their masks, everyone got their gloves, but there's multiple people showing at the same time, like on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, I have to say that in Sacramento too, we are also experiencing when a house comes on the market, they're going pretty fast, usual multiple offers. Traffic's pretty crazy here too as well.
Is there anyone in like Contra Costa, like Brentwood, Antioch, Walnut Creek that can comment?
So I do a lot of Antioch, Contra Costa, Concord. So what I'm seeing, like Antioch, usually Antioch is like, sorry, pretty transparent. But Concord, what I'm seeing in Concord is there's a lot of people just, they price their houses low, they just increase the pricing, and the ones that were overpriced, they just lower the price to like a realistic price. So that's what I'm seeing in like Concord and Walnut Creek and Pleasant Hill areas. Then Antioch, Pittsburgh, Bay Point, Brentwood, I do see a lot of vacant houses, and just price right. They just want to get in contract as soon as possible.
And for those that have listings coming up, like what's the conversation with your sellers? Because I spoke to my friend Kenneth yesterday. He does a lot of business in like North Oakland, Rockridge, which for us is the slightly higher end of the market. So those people are going to be more price sensitive, and they probably have been hurt pretty bad from the stock market already. Like, are you guys still holding off, or because this could be indefinite? This could be 1, 2, 3 months. You just never know.
I have 3 listings that we're holding off, and we check in with the sellers once a week just to keep them updated with regards to what's going on in the marketplace. And they're all doing little repairs and improvements to the property because our contractors are not so as available as they would have been normally. But we're just feeling that we're staying in touch. We're doing crazy amounts of social media to stay in touch. I have used this time productively. I've taken Photoshop classes. I built our own website. I rebranded our Facebook business page to match the website. I've just been doing so much to ramp up to be more competitive with Kenny on social media.
Well, Kenny really needs to step up his activities recently.
I got 40 hours on Instagram this week.
Yeah, so we have 3 or 4 listings on the market, I think right now, that just came on last week, but we have probably 6 or 7 in the pipeline, and every single one of them, it's just situational. So it's having the conversation of risk versus reward, like, hey, if the market tanks in 3 months or a month, are you willing to risk that? And then also, are you willing to have private showings right now with this whole health crisis? Like, there's so many different conversations. It just all depends on the seller's motivation to sell. I have one client who's like, I don't give a heck. I want to sell. Let's get this thing on the market right away. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what's going to happen, and this could be the outcome. And so it's just having like even more deep conversations with your clients right now about their goals and like, if this thing takes a 20% valuation hit in 3 months, what does that look like? And I mean, asking all the questions, I think it's just so important to have deep, fiduciary conversations right now. It just used to be so easy to sell real estate. I've only been selling real estate for 6 years. And it was like the last 5 years has just been such a breeze compared to the conversations we're having now. And now is when, your counsel and skill set really shows up. So.
I mean, people have to sell. Like my client in Newark, I told him to hold off. I really thought we were originally planning May, but they have a child on the way coming next month, and they need to move to Portland. The job's relocated. It's just a mix of things they have to do right away. I have a 4-plex listing coming on the market, I think tomorrow, on 9404 Peach Street. Upstairs, 2 units are vacant. We're just gonna we're gonna keep working staging, but I found a company later. But some companies locally staging $40 for a photo, which is I never heard of, $4,200. We're gonna try that out. And then the lower 2 units on this 10 occupied property, we're not doing any showings at all, like not even virtual. We're just it's an investment property, so the competition is going to be a lot better. The buyer demographics is going to be a lot different.
Holding off, Kenny? Do you mean like are you waiting till like the end of the month till they release stuff to see what happens? Is that where are you holding off to then, or you're holding off to see what how the unlock goes as far as
well,
on the market?
Hold off, but then they couldn't wait or didn't want to wait. So on Peach Street example, this guy wants to sell and do a 1031. Kind of blows up. Like, what are you going to 1031 into? Like, it's even harder to find something, but that's what you want. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about pricing. I mean, I haven't seen any Corona discounts. I've had a couple agents call me and asking how that went. I think in Redwood Heights, I was able to got one property right the same week shelter in place, maybe got a tiny discount. But outside of that, like I just haven't seen prices been too much affected. Are you guys seeing it affected right now, and where do you see prices at in
like the property I wrote on, it right in the second week of the coronavirus lockdown, we had 3 offers. It was at asking, but the property had $20,000 in section 1, and my clients took it as is. We didn't ask for any repairs, and there didn't see much price. He's been pretty much selling for asking. In Dublin.
I've seen it on the back on markets, the ones that have fallen out of a contract. The agents have told me that they were in contract for much more, but they'd be open to any offer that comes in. So we come in at a certain price, and we've gotten pretty lucky with those back on markets.
Hey, Michelle, Michelle, your Bank of America, have you seen any buyers drop out? You know, like people that stop being qualified?
I'm not with Bank of America anymore. I'm with Wells Fargo.
Oh.
You got too drunk that one night.
You weren't paying attention during our happy hour, Kenny.
Well, that's only the happy hour.
I moved to Wells Fargo right before the shelter in place took place. So I'm now with Wells Fargo Private Mortgage Banking, and I have a few of my team members in here.
Okay, while we're on Wells Fargo, I saw an article today that said you guys have stopped loaning out assistance funds or something. There's like $10 billion. No.
I believe that's the SBA fund. I'm not too familiar with that. But as far as residential loan is concerned, we are still, as purchase-wise, we're still business as usual. 80% or more down payment, even with jumbo loans. But refinance, yes, we've curtailed some of our programs to keep it within Fannie and Freddie made programs, and we're not doing cash out refinance.
Okay, so same like other lenders earlier said same thing.
Yeah.
Pricing, anyone else? Where do you guys think pricing will be a month from now?
Silicon Valley, the higher end market is definitely getting hit. Like all my buyers were lowballing everything, and then my just over should have sold about 2.1. We're gonna close at 1.9 now. So I definitely think us over here in the Valley are definitely feeling buyers taking advantage of the situation. I mean, every one of my buyers across the board is like, you know, how low can we go? How low can we go? So we're feeling it for sure.
Oh, wait, and then in your marketplace, many of the buyers they're qualified, their jobs aren't really too affected by this, right?
I mean, a lot of my buyers have heavy investments in stock, right? So a lot of my guys lost a lot of money recently. So the buyers, their jobs may not be affected, but their savings have been affected. And so in turn, they're like, okay, instead of going up to this price, let's go to this price instead and see what happens.
I see, because they still have their jobs, but they lost a lot of money. So I guess there's two ways most people are being affected.
Yeah, they're super tied to the market. And then my buddy who's really high up and really connected in the tech world thinks that there's gonna be a lot of layoffs in that sector. They're really calling for that. So we'll see. But I definitely think our prices over here are gonna be impacted, if not already.
Hey, Justin, are you in here? I see you writing it. Maybe you could speak about the San Francisco condo market. Justin.
Yeah, I wrote in the chat box, I think prices are going to have to come down. Buyers want a discount right now for going into contract during this uncertain times. And, so much of the way that we did business with having open houses, getting open houses packed full of people and setting up a mentality for the buyers that they're really going to have to put their best foot forward, by seeing all these people they're going to have to compete with in open houses. Well, if you take that away, I just think that is going to have an effect on offer prices.
Yeah, so like for our listing in Newark, I honestly thought it was strange because that was my first virtual showing where second one where the sellers showed my clients' potential buyers' property, and then we actually put like to jump on a Zoom call and see 12 buyers asking questions about it. It's just like really strange. But it does build out competition because you actually could see your competition in live time.
Oh, that's cool.
Any other comments on, forecasting and pricing?
I have a question. How are listing agents right now when they're marketing properties and vacant houses? Maybe disclosures are ready prior to showings, that'd be great, or right around then. Are they setting offer dates? Like Jeff Needleman was saying, he has the property in Montclair and he had a couple showings over the weekend. He's hoping to have by Friday an offer. Is there an offer date? Is it offers as they come with the transparent pricing? What are listing agents doing?
I'm seeing more offers as they come than offer dates right now for the MLS. The properties that I am sending to my buyers, pretty much in Crocker Highlands, Piedmont, North Oakland, Moraga, Orinda, those for more than not, those have offer dates. And especially in Moraga, Orinda, I'm seeing multiple offers or they sell before. It's very strong in Moraga and Orinda for those ranch style houses in the $1.2 million to $1.6 million kind of price range. We decided to go with an offer date because we just have a situation where our seller moved into Piedmont Gardens and had to have a promissory note in order to move in there. So we're motivated to sell her home so that she can pay off her promissory note. And if nothing happens on Friday, then it's just going to be, you know, as they come, I guess.
Let me see. I guess so. This year the market trended up surprisingly, but for the last 2 years, 2 years has been pretty quiet. My average price is about 770, so I work mostly in the middle of the market, sometimes a little above, so not in the same market as like Jeff in the higher end. So I do about like 40 listings a year. I'll say probably 75% of my listings, we tend to do the open houses first, and then we tell buyers we're gonna decide what we want to do after the first weekend. Because there's just a lot of uncertainty. Many listings are only getting 1 to 3 offers. And I think we're right now during this, we're sticking to the same program too. We're just playing by ear to see what activity comes in. Because all the properties we have aren't in like crazy high demand in the middle of the market. Not exactly like the best rates or any like key selling points like BART and such. So we're really just playing by ear. It takes a lot more extra work to do that, but that's also a selling point. We pitch to our sellers, look, homes are hard to sell, so we work extra hard and we more up to date by having more communication and feedback from the agents. Anyone chime in like South Bay? Anyone from South Bay here?
I mean, I'm South Bay, Silicon Valley, South Bay. Definitely not doing offer dates. At least for everything over 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 kind of area and above. I'd say everything that's about $1 million and under, we're still getting pretty good traction. I had a fixer go in contract a week ago, pretty quickly for a pretty good price. That was at $700K. But I think setting offer dates for us is kind of like, you know, suicide. So we're just seeing who's out there. And like I said, we're only going to market with sellers who really need to sell right now, or who, you know, are afraid that they're going to lose a bunch of valuation coming up later in the year. So.
I just want to thank Kenny for doing this. In 2008, I started real estate in 2001, like 700 years ago, it feels like. And we didn't have this opportunity to communicate and connect like this. And it's just a real testament to all of us being together, supporting each other, and just, I think it's just incredible. So thank you, Kenny, for doing this. I think it's really a great idea. And you know, you have your followers and your legions here all waiting to communicate with each other and support each other. It's a scary time for everybody, and we all want to stay in business. So watch your pennies and your nickels, and just be optimistic. I honestly think we're going to come out of this really strong whenever we can get back to business as usual, even if it's baby steps. I'm just optimistic it's going to be really, really good for everybody. And just so stay healthy, and, you know, clean your house, do a lot of baking, get on that stupid treadmill, and communicate and do your social media.
I saw a cool toy yesterday someone posted, but I didn't know that you could buy this like stationary thing, stick into we just put it on the ground. You put a regular bicycle on it, and you just kind of go in place. Because I know it's really hard to get a Peloton or a treadmill or whatever right now, so that might be cool. Also, one thing, I haven't tried it before. I just learned how to do webinars this Saturday. I spent like 8 hours in the office trying to figure this stuff out. So we have a stacked week. This is being recorded in the Zoom cloud. So once I figure out what that is and how to download it, I'll upload to YouTube. And you guys are welcome. Maybe I'll share 2 files. I'll share a Dropbox link where you can download the file and do as it would do or whatever you want. But I'm also going to be uploading to YouTube and maybe IGTV. And then if you want, you can share it to your clients. But then that would be branded with me. So whichever you want to do is fine. But I'll try to get you guys that link by sending an email to all the people who registered. We have 118 participants. This was bigger than I thought. But you guys will get a big copy of that video. Any last remarks?
I have a question for the group. Are you guys using the new CAR coronavirus forms? I'm scheduled to have a conversation with a seller to go over the listing agreement amendment / addendum, and it does actually seem like a good conversation starter to talk about the issues that we're dealing with here. And are you guys using the entry advisory / declaration?
Yeah.
Dude,
100%. Yep.
That's a really great thing you just reminded me. It's a great way, I don't know how many of you guys are prospecting. I do a lot of cold calling. My team does a ton of cold calling. Really great way to get in touch with old buyers and sellers that are in your pipeline is by bringing up those addendums. And then also bringing up the fact that our MLS is freezing the days on market. I don't know if all the MLSs are doing that around the Bay Area, but I've gotten in some really great conversations by actually using those addendums as talking points. Like, hey, have you seen the changes we're making? This is what to look out for.
Alicia,
And
up at your brokerage.
What's up? Hey guys. Hi, Felicia Mattis here. I'm with Abio Properties in Oakland. It's so good to see all of your beautiful faces. I am all zoomed out. I feel like it's just back to back. But if you guys are looking for another Zoom meeting to be on, our Young Professionals Network is having an event today right after this one at 2 p.m. I just put the link in the chat. We're going to be talking about cultivating joy and wellness during this time. Sorry to use your time, Kenny, for my own gain, but I would love to see some of you guys there. I'm a pretty positive person in general, but I've had a couple of down days where I'm just like, this is so frustrating. I'm sick of being at home because I'm such a busybody. So that's been a little hard, but seeing you guys here has been great. I just saw, hey, Mariama, I just saw you this morning. We were taking a SRS certification. So right now is a great time for people to be getting educated and getting those designations done if you can. So it's good to see you there and good to see you here. And it's good to see all of you guys around the internet. It's pretty cool. And just, I work mostly with buyers, so it's kind of an interesting time right now. I don't have any buyers that are super, super desperate or who have been looking for very long. So they're all kind of just on pause a little bit, waiting for the perfect opportunity. But I have noticed that a lot of the listing agents that I'm speaking to are a lot nicer these days. People are actually answering their phones. They're calling me back. They're giving me the answers to the questions that I'm asking. And you guys probably know this is not always the case in such a competitive market. Listing agents can sometimes be a little snooty or non-existent or just not around. So it's been kind of great for people to be so kind and to be answering my calls and answering my questions. So just want to encourage everybody out there to maintain that relationship with the agent on the other side. And it's good to see you guys.
Yeah,
and also just so you know, there's no age limit on the Young Professionals Network. It's young at heart, not young in age. So I would love to see you guys there.
They let me in, so anybody can go.
Quick plug. So Elias Asutos over at BHG Reliance Partner, he was able to secure the chief economist Jordan Levine on the Zoom call. If you guys haven't heard this guy speak, this guy's like super, super smart. You know, you could get all the charts and stuff, understand what's going on in the community on a macro and micro level. So he's going to be talking about Sacramento County, Alameda, and Contra Costa, and cities specifically, Walnut Creek, Oakland, Berkeley. So you guys want to hop on that Zoom call with them? I think it's going to be a webinar format. The link is in the chat, 9:30 tomorrow. It probably will run for about an hour.
And also, if any of you are members of Leading RE, they have really good conferences almost every day, but they have one every Friday morning with their economist who is really good.
Which one is that one?
How do we get to that one?
I don't know. My company sends it out to me because we're Leading RE, but if you're Leading RE, just whoever your contact is for that, they have a schedule. I'll send you the schedule, Kenny.
Okay, and I mean, and if you guys want ongoing training, I'll show you what I've built. This is open to anyone. This is Slack. I have a Slack channel that I've been literally uploading every single training I can find or run across, which is quite a bit. So this is non-branded. I mean, I have Coldwell Banker and KW and all kinds of stuff in here. So you guys are interested in this channel, just send me email or text something, because that is it's a pain. I have to manually add every single person in here every single time, one by one. So there's no like mass. So you guys are interested in my training channel, just shoot me a DM. Well, anyone else have anywhere almost to the hour mark? So we can go at this for maybe like 10 more minutes. If anyone has anything else to comment.
I was talking to somebody this morning getting back to the fitness thing. They're renting a bicycle, what am I trying to say? A spin cycle from their gym. So their gyms are all closed. So the gyms are trying to make money. So they've got a spin cycle in their spare bedroom. They rent it for $50 a month from their gym. So you guys might want to check on that if you want to do something like that.
Yeah, Ride in Oakland is doing that, RIDE.
Yeah.
Okay.
$50, that's probably cheaper than going into the actual gym.
So, you know, for some it's the same, but the thing is, at least they have it there and they can get to it, and then they have free online, trainings that they can follow video when they're doing it. I thought it was kind of a unique, proposition.
Yeah, it's super fun to see how all of the small businesses are adjusting their stuff to go virtual or just altering altogether. It's pretty cool. Everybody's being innovative.
Maybe we could do a realtor spin.
I have a question one more time earlier before Felicia was talking about the forms that Justin had a question. Are you guys using not only the COVID addendum for listing agreements or contracts, purchase agreements, but are you doing the entry? I'm going to have with our brokerage tomorrow a seminar. I'm going to ask, hold on one second, please.
Unmute yourself.
You're muted, Anne.
Okay.
Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Oh, unmute yourself.
Okay, are you guys using, sorry about that. Are you guys using the forms to show properties before entry? Are you using that with buyers and sellers?
I'll answer that. This is Brian with Fremont. So yeah, one of our team members, actually we always use the PAD as well as the coronavirus addendum as well. Actually, it's pretty good if you're working on buyers. It sets the expectations up front about what's going on, and the ones that are not serious don't actually themselves out. So it actually works in your favor.
I agree. I don't think anybody's had an issue with it. Everybody kind of understands the situation and is willing to sign what they need to get this done.
Yeah,
and McGuire actually has another questionnaire that they use asking for anybody who's visiting the property, like if they've been in a foreign country, if they've been exposed to anyone, if they're having symptoms, and if they can answer yes to any of those questions, they're not allowed to go through the house.
I have a quick question. It's just in regards to, I guess, marketing, calling. Can some of you guys just give me some insight on what you're doing, any scripts that you're using in regards, are you calling people right now? Are you, creating COVID postcards to be mailed out, mailers? I haven't seen a lot of that on these Zoom call conferences that I've been on.
So I am trying to go through my entire database and starting just alphabetically. And would you believe it or not, people are actually answering the phones because they're at home, they're bored, they want to hear from me, and it's awesome. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're actually answering when normally it's so hard to get people on the phone. So definitely want to encourage everybody to take this time to work on your CRM and go through and call everybody. I'm also going to be doing handwritten notes which I'm terrible at, and it's something that I've always wanted to become better at. I have really bad handwriting as well, so hopefully that gets better over the course of this. But I'm not sending out any like postcards or anything, or doing any aggressive type of like Facebook ads or anything like that right now. I'm just doing the personal touches. Anybody else?
Yeah. So for my team, I know like Jen and my team has been sending out cards just to check in on clients. For me personally, like, because I run kind of more like a volume team. I have a call center. I have 2 full-time people calling. I did not tell them to change the conversation at all. So clients are still picking up. They're telling us they're still interested in the market. Very little have I seen, like maybe 1 out of every 30 are offended. We're calling them. But for the most part, people are receptive. They're saying, hey, we're still in the market, but we're waiting 6 months. So it's, even with this in place, people still want to do all the regular things they were planning to do. I know we wanted to be really sensitive about the matter. We're not early on, but then people still have a need. And if anything, they probably have been thinking about what they want to do even more so, and then figure out the timing of it right now. So people want to transact.
So you guys are still using the same script when you're doing like Mojo or Red X or whatever, your cold calls, you guys are still using the same scripts?
Yeah, my call center, I didn't, my 2 ISAs, I have not told them to change the messaging. They've just been calling, and I've been getting the daily emails from them, because they usually set 2 or 3 phone appointments for us. But if I were to look at those feedback and take away the word Corona, I wouldn't even tell the difference from this market, except we would actually gain more responses than before.
Okay. Kenny, can I share something that I did?
Please.
So during about a week and a half ago, we sent out to our entire, all our past clients and close database, little board games and jigsaw puzzles to like families and stuff like that. It was about $10 to $15 per on Amazon, and we sent it with a little personal note.
Oh, I love that.
For our team, it led to 6 appointments and one buyer seller. One sell and buy that's going to happen right after shelter in place. So it's a good way to just get in contact with your entire database.
That's smart. I mean, that's what you're saying annual gifts, right? What better than that? Actually offer even small items of value goes a long way, because it's not that counts, right?
Yeah, like the first week of the coronavirus, I reached out to my entire database, and I especially to the elderly people, I just texted them, just a very sincere, just text messages. Like, if you need something like, getting toilet paper, getting groceries, if you know any neighbors that need anything. And then actually the community will come together, and they'll let you know, like, hey, if you know any neighbors, let me know too. Like, we're willing to come out as a community and help each other out. And it's really easy to talk to clients that you haven't talked to in a long time. And, if you kind of put them in the back burner for a really long time to the point where you haven't touched, so it's just an easy conversation starter. And as well with cold calling too. I mean, for me initially, like, I still call expireds, and surprisingly enough, I changed it a little bit in the beginning, just saying sincere if they need anything, just reaching out to the community to see if you guys need any help. And a lot of them just been the same thing. I mean, there's I've been talking to a lot of the older people, and they're just like, we don't need anything now, but if you can sell our house, that'd be great. And it's people are actually really, you're gonna get high responses right now, and I think as long as you're sincere, you can't be, you gotta be sincere. You can't, there's a pandemic, you gotta understand that, but the biggest thing is just taking action consistently. And as long as you're consistent. Right?
I was on a panel with the West Group every day. I did the tech thing, but someone else that spoke about, like, we have a pretty bad stigma in the market. We're one step above like used car salesmen, but now with whatever you do now, we can actually elevate the industry as a whole. If you are more sincere and you're doing more things and reach out community, you're helping and giving back, people are going to remember that, and then that's going to also set apart the group of agents that are just doing whatever, and agents who really do care about community and not just deals. So here's like our small month or so in history to really change the perception of agents, at least within their
and cement the
I did the same thing last week. I was going to Trader Joe's, so I called several people and asked them if they needed anything while I was there. And I actually got a referral for a listing from one friend and she said she didn't need anything, but I bought her a flower at Trader Joe's and left it on her doorstep. And I said, oh, you forgot you needed flowers.
That's so sweet.
I think that's what we all need right now, is just to be compassionate towards each other. And the more we have this type of meetings, and thank you, Kenny, for putting this together. It's like the more we all help each other out, you know, whether you're with a different brokerage or if you're with another lender, we just need to help each other out to make it through this, and we will make it through this.
Most definitely. I mean, being an advocate right now instead of pushing the sale of real estate is very important. And like I said, and like this group of like-minded people, it is great that we need to be on top of it because a lot of people have questions. There were so many people that we just made that touch phone call, say, hey, if you have problem paying your mortgage, reach out to your lender, because if they don't know and you don't tell them, how are they supposed to know? And they're so willing to work with their clients right now, because we went through the crash in 08 and when 06, when we were doing all those bank foreclosures. It was horrible. That was like the worst time to be a realtor, because we have compassion as a human. And so going through that right now, the lenders don't want to be in that place. And so just helping them and being an advocate right now is all you can do, really, for sure. Thanks, Kenny, again, for all this. You are amazing.
Oh, thank you. All right, well, an hour is wrapped up. Any last remarks? Because I want to, respect people's time. You have so much of it, but still should be respected.
I'll pass along one other hint. I don't know if you've noticed, next door neighborhood is really active right now. A lot of people posting their neighbors need help, they need help, staying in touch with each other. And that is a really good place right now to have your own branded real estate, I'm an agent spot. I posted something on there yesterday and got a response back, a really sweet email from a lady who has a condo just 3 blocks from me. And we had a lovely conversation and talked about the market. So I just think staying visible there as well would be a really good thing for yourself and for the community. I love what I heard about be sincere, give back, change perception of agents. And there's a place to do it, in my opinion.
Well, I live in Jack London, and it's funny because I went grocery shopping like 10 times. I have not seen toilet paper for sale. And then I'm seeing 2 people post at Ace Hardware yesterday, there's toilet paper for sale. So if you guys need it, that's where you can
Go
get
to
it.
Berkeley Bowl. You have toilet paper.
Where?
Berkeley Bowl.
Trader Joe's first thing in the morning has it too.
Okay, then I guess we'll wrap up. Any very last statements before we end this?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for creating this.
Well, guys, Wednesday for the Oakland Berkeley panel, it'll be a panel format, wouldn't be a meeting. And then on tomorrow is the CER one, and on Thursday morning we have a top 1% California agent webinar. I hope to see you guys there. And cool, I'll talk to you guys on. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Stay strong, everyone.
Thank you.